Hi, guys. This is Carlin Liborio, and I am here to talk to you about my latest resource that came out recently called Seventh Grade Nonfiction. And this is also one of my only argumentative or opinion writing examples. And if you're wondering why your district or your specialist has not been giving you a lot of argumentative prompts, it's probably because they are very difficult to find and to write. So basically, an argumentative writing, which is one of the options that the ECR could be, where they ask the students to make their opinion basically when given two different scenarios or two different situations or two different things. So it could be a nonfiction article that they're reading, and it could be talking about two different things. So the best example we have of this at the moment in the scoring guide is Clipper ships, the Clippers versus the Steamboats. So you might notice that it was not written as an argumentative, it was not an argumentative writing piece in terms of the genre of the article, of the passage. The passage was just a nonfiction passage, but the students were being asked to write, to choose one side or the other, to pick an opinion. So some people get confused about this, so I just wanted to go over that. There's another example on one of the released prompts on the Cambium website with TEA that it asks the students, uh, you know, there's a high school one actually that asks them to write a letter with their opinion about a certain thing. So sometimes the article is argumentative and sometimes it isn't. Okay, so this one that I'm going to show you, what it includes is it includes the teacher directions, the links to the STAR passage. The passage is not provided, it's from 2016. And it has teaching suggestions, a nonfiction poster, a foursquare that is blank, and then a foursquare filled out that you can use to guide class discussions as the students are annotating or jotting. Two SCRs that you can use to spiral back to those, or you could start with those. ECR planners, different planners to choose from depending on where your students are at. Even seventh graders might need, some of your students might need a more basic planner. Some of your SPED students might benefit from a more basic planner. So I put a lot of different differentiated planners for you to choose from. And then there is one ECR argumentative prompt and two sample answers. So this is different from most of my resources. Usually I give 3 prompts and 1 sample answer. This one, it's 1 prompt, but with 2 possible answers because I wanted to show you what the student could write if they picked the other side. You can use these as a model. You could even show it to them, and then you could have them pick a side and write about it. It's not a bad thing to show students a model and ask them to write about the exact same question. I did that with the manners. I've done that with a lot of different things. Sometimes they need to see that model. You take it off the screen, they're not going to memorize it. So they still have to go into the passage and find the evidence themselves. So if you're feeling that your students are really not getting it, I would highly recommend go back to modeling, even modeling the same question that you're going to have them work on. That can really help. And these are both of the ECR sample answers are color coded. Okay, and then this just goes through the links, and I also have all of these as Google Docs that you can upload. It'll make a forced copy, and you can put these right on Google Classroom. Those are digital versions of the planners are also included in this resource, and Google Slides of this PDF. This goes through how to teach ECRs, how to fill out the foursquare. This is the foursquare that kind of goes over the passage. The passage is robots on the reef. And there is another resource on this where it asks informational prompts and has a sample essay for informational. If you're interested in that, that is a separate resource. And then I also have, so notice this one has the argumentative planner. And I also put sentence starters on there to help you, to help your students. And this is the basic planner that I was talking about. Checklist, very simple, kid-friendly language that you can use if you want to, based on the rubric. Okay, so this is the prompt. Write an essay in which you argue that coral bots should or should not be used to restore the coral reefs. So just like the clipper and the steamboat, most students in the scoring guide and probably all the examples that TA got, most of them wanted to write about the clipper ship because it was pretty obvious that that one was better and changed life in the US more. So in this particular essay, the one that they're going to probably write about is going to be that coral bots should be used to restore the coral reefs. That's the one that the author is mainly giving evidence for. So I wrote this in the style of you answer the question, that would be your RA, then they give reasons: safer, faster, do a better job at rebuilding damaged coral reefs than scuba divers. So that is the question: is, do you think coral bots should restore the reefs or not? And in the article, the other option, and I didn't put this in the question, but you can always, since you have the Google Doc version, you can always tweak the question if you need to. But I didn't want to spell out in the question scuba divers because I thought maybe they're going to come up with something else. But in the article, that is what they talked about. They talk about scuba divers restoring the reefs and the how that worked and the problems with that, and then coral bots and how they could restore the reefs. So those are the two things that are pretty obvious in the article. And then you'll notice that sentence transitions are orange. Pink is the reasons, blue is the text evidence, and green is where you explain your text evidence. Then this one was a little harder to write, and this one was, I think coral bots should not be used to restore the coral reef. Scuba divers do a much better job because they are able to adapt and work together as a team. They have a human fine touch and they care about nature. So that's one thing that could be an advantage for scuba divers repairing the reef, is that they have that compassion, they have feelings for nature that the robots do not have. So that reason was not in the article, that was from my brain. But what I did do is I pulled out specific text and I basically tried to kind of turn it around. So I'm just going to give you an example of the first paragraph. First of all, scuba divers are better at working together as a team. The text says scientists and volunteer divers work to reassemble damaged coral. The author talks about how insects work together to build things and suggests that coral bots would work in a similar way. But how do you know what the robots will do or will not do until you can test out this theory? I like adding rhetorical questions to opinion writing. It's really fun. One thing is for sure, human beings have brains that can produce unlimited ideas and are able to adapt and collaborate dynamically on such delicate tasks. On the other hand, robots are unable to do anything else other than whatever is already programmed in their operating system. So this is explaining how scuba divers would actually be better at working together as a team. The article talks about how robots would be good as a team, and they have a whole paragraph on how insects work as a team, like termites they gave as an example. And then the second reason is they're more gentle. Scuba divers are more gentle and patient. So it didn't say this in the article, but I'm making an inference. But then the evidence is that when, in paragraph 2, it says that when the scuba divers are repairing broken reefs, cementing the broken pieces is a lengthy process. This proves that this job cannot be left to machines and robots to do because they may not do it correctly. consequently causing even more damage to the coral reefs. It takes a gentle touch that can only be done by humans. So even though I'm giving the evidence, I'm kind of turning it to my point of view. And like I said, this is really hard for everyone to come up with questions when the article was not made for opinion writing. So I'm trying my best, and this is one of the only ones I've done. So I would like to know what you guys think about it. If you want me to make more like these, just let me know. Send me an email or send me a message on Facebook or comment on YouTube and let me know. Lastly, scuba divers care for nature, and robots will only do what they are programmed to do, regardless of consequences. In paragraph 6, it says coral reefs are home to 1/4 of all marine life on the planet and serve as a natural barrier against damage caused by storms, hurricanes, and typhoons. Would you want to trust a machine to do something so important and crucial to marine ecosystems? Due to the human touch, scuba divers will always think about preserving nature and how important it is, whereas a machine, such as a coral bot, will do whatever it is designed to do, regardless of the outcome. So that one I put my strongest reason towards the end to kind of end with the bang. As you can see, scuba divers are the best option in restoring and saving the damaged coral reefs. They are a more dynamic workforce, possess better fine motor skills, and are conscientious when it comes to nature. So, trying to write this on a 7th grade level, I know that not all 7th graders are there yet, especially since they did not take the writing test. This year's 7th graders did not take the writing test when they were in 4th grade. That was the year of COVID. So, but I'm writing this thinking about how eventually 7th graders will be able to write. And I think that when we show them a model, it needs to be higher. It needs to have all the things that we want them to have. Does it have to be this long? No. But even if they can learn something from this and they can pull that out and put it in their own writing, then we have achieved our goal as a teacher. So, one thing I did try to do purposefully is if you look at the pink at the beginning in the introduction and the pink in the conclusion, I did specifically go in and use word reference or synonyms to replace the words so that they don't sound the same. Okay, this is the other one. So you'll see here it says more dynamic workforce, and here it says work together as a team. Here it says human fine touch, and here it says possess better fine motor skills. Conscientious when it comes to nature, care about nature. I did also try to focus on word choice so that you could show your students this is, what's good about this, the word choice, the organization, the transitions, things like that. All right. So it comes with both essays, and you can either use this as a teach piece or you could, show them this and then you could have them decide what side they would like to write about. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and please let me know. I will post all the links in the description to my Facebook page, my email, my teacher page, teacher store, all the things. All right, have a great day. Bye.